Guys, China may be the country actually living in the future. If you've been on social media for the past 5 years or so, you've probably seen influencers claiming to have found the future, mainly in Japan. Almost always in Japan. But as people living in Japan, we can tell you there may be a country better deserving of the title living in the future. And that's where we are now, in China, to explore the truth about what a life in the future means. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ben, and this is my first time in China.
But my lore is that I lived in China for a year. And as many Americans do, we both came in with a lot of ideas about China before even stepping foot here. But if there's anything we like doing, it's stepping out of our comfort zone and into a different culture. And before the allegations begin, no, China did not sponsor us to do this.
But recently, social media has shown a different image of China than what we were taught growing up. Like, seriously, if you see pictures of this country from the 90s versus now, these cities are almost unrecognizable.
And no place is better to see that than in China's most futuristic city, Chongqing. We're starting off in the most cyberpunk, Tron, Blade Runner looking city in all of China. This city has gone bonkers on social media because, I don't know, stairs or something? Also, IShowSpeed was here. So there's that. Seriously though, this city's claims to fame are never being able to find the ground floor, a building that looks like Spirited Away meets an EDM circus, and a drone show above the city. All of these things give the appearance of a future, but what we found on the ground here is actually a little bit more complicated. So let us lay out for you what a reality in the future might mean. What does real-life Night City look like? Probably this.
Every corner of this city is lit up like a Japanese pachinko parlor. I'm not even kidding. China definitely knows how to light up buildings, I'll tell you what. I guess it makes sense because they're the ones making the lights for the rest of us, so they've certainly got a stockpile to make a whole skyscraper glow. But that's not really the future. I mean, it looks flashy, but there are tons of things that look good without any real weight or impact, and maybe kind of just a waste of time, didn't really have any compelling points. Oh wait, sorry, I'm getting distracted.
The reality of a city in the clouds is a fate not too different from cyberpunk, with a premium placed on the places above the skyline. Now, this isn't unique to Chongqing. A lot of places will charge more for a hotel with a good view. But in Chongqing, that view is the experience. And you don't go up without people taking you there. There is constant construction in Chinese cities. I mean, it makes sense. You don't just get a population of over 1.4 billion overnight, so you'll see entire communities being built as high-rise residential areas. So yeah, in China, the suburbs are skyscrapers. When I first came here, I was used to America with big old yards and big old houses and big old highways that go to big old Walmarts with big old parking lots. Ain't nothing more American than that. But that's not the reality in China, though they do have Walmart here. Ground floor will have some stores and restaurants, a park, there can be a subway connecting the suburb to the city, imagine that. And if you're picturing small cramped homes just because they're apartments, that's not really the case. People online can hardly believe the apartment tours people are doing in China with prices that would send American landlords into a coma. China does tend to do that to landlords, huh? But God, even our hotel room has a whole ass pool. They're just building stuff because they can at this point. Actually, side note, this hotel is wild. Look at our coffee bar with Nespresso. Wow, something we would never splurge on for ourselves, but if a hotel gives us one, here it is. Looks like we have
Ooh, beautiful tea.
My heart, some tea. So futuristic. They have tea in the future. Okay, then we have a fruit bowl, which damn straight. This is like a 5-star hotel, I think.
What's next over here?
A big old bed.
That is a huge bed.
Hold up, I need to just. It's a speaker we can connect our phones to. Don't ask me how. Time heals all wounds. Sometimes it just takes a larger dose.
What is this about grief?
To my time traveler.
This is a very...
What the? Who? Okay.
It's a very strange...
Well, I'll keep that in mind when I pick.
Strange message.
We do have a whole Dyson set to work with, which is very bougie, and like a custom cutout system for it too, I guess. And then I guess we have everything. The toilet is not just a toilet.
Not just
Oh my god. What the hell?
all of China will see you.
That's amazing.
What a view.
But when you look at these buildings that basically house a whole town's worth of people, it really feels like a type of futuristic efficiency. Kind of like vertical farming. But this isn't just pure China glaze and our suburban sprawl hate coming through. With all the construction comes chaos, or even buildings that don't look like they'll last long. These buildings go up fast, like so fast I was scared I wouldn't recognize anywhere from my exchange 7 years ago.
Where is she? Find the redhead.
The one redhead.
And actually it was kind of true. The entire south gate of my university was entirely changed, and they had 2 new subway stops. We didn't have any subway when I was there. Of course they get all the good stuff after you leave. We did get one new thing when I was there, the dorms. But just like I said, it was built fast and was looking like it had seen better days. I mean, it looked good when I was there, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they knocked that building down in the course of a month and put up a new one the following year. But one way China has been living in the future for a while now is probably the first thing you notice when you get here.
你好，我想要一瓶水。
好，支付宝还是微信吗？
Cash 可以吗？
去你的，滚出去！
Compared to America, or especially Japan, having cash or credit cards is not enough. You need to be able to have a phone so that you can scan a QR code for just about everything. Seriously, every vendor, every store, every chain, every train station, there was something we had to scan in order to be able to pay.
The whole time we've been here, we didn't even take out cash once. Even my credit card felt kind of useless because everything was connected to Alipay or WeChat. There were a couple times we were low-key stressing because what if we couldn't get internet to pay the bill? Would this very Chinese time in our life turn into a very Chinese time in prison?
And we've been using Yesim on this trip to stay connected wherever we go, including a hot pot restaurant.
And we're going to try to get through this sponsored segment while eating the spiciest hot pot at this Chinese restaurant.
eSims are pretty much essential for anybody with a travel bug, and Yesim has an eSIM for over 200 destinations.
Oh.
I'm in danger.
It's basically the new way to get data service in another country without having to take out your physical SIM card. And with 24/7 support, one-click installation, and the cheap price compared to using roaming data, Yesim is a great solution.
I think this was a mistake. And if you're a frequent flyer, there are regional Yesim packages.
Or, say you don't know which countries you're going to be in, you could get the global package and get up to 147 countries covered with one eSIM. Or you could get the pay and fly package where you only pay for what you use.
Stop stalling, eat the spicy. So if you're traveling abroad, download Yesim and get €3 off if you use our promo code HITOBITO.
Now,
Back
to the video.
But look, I know, cashless payments aren't just in China. There's plenty of that in Japan and even in the US right now. But to be up on a mountain in the middle of China and paying with a QR code felt like another level of futuristicness. And even more futuristically, you may wonder what happens when your phone dies. Are you just not able to pay for anything? Well, they've got you covered because more and more places have facial and palm vein payment. Yes, your face and the very veins in your palm are connected directly to your bank account. This is definitely one of those things I could see the news in America reporting on, saying that it's a very big scary thing, but if you think your face in America isn't being scanned all the time, then I've got some bad news for you, buddy.
So cash has been on the way out for a while, and scanning your face card is in. Let's hope it doesn't decline. Living in Japan, you'd think we'd see more robots, but we kinda don't. Even the video we made about robots in Tokyo, the truth was that we had to track them down because, as I've said before, and I'll say again, Japan isn't really living in the future. But China is different. China is one of the kings of manufacturing in the world, you know, so you better bet they're making some robots. Also all the toys you played with as a kid. And on this trip, we're seeing which ones are actually useful and not just for show. So let's rate the robots we encountered. Every single hotel we stayed at came with a little robot helper who would automatically bring us water and food when we requested it. This one definitely gets the stamp of approval being useful because I swear we used it maybe 5 or 6 times just trying to get water because you're not supposed to drink tap water.
Oh, get out the way. He can sense us.
And not gonna lie, this robot is a lot like the ones you might have seen in our Japan robot video, cute face and all. But especially because it means that a person doesn't physically have to come up to our room and give us something every time, catching us in our bathrobes and bedhead. Well, I'd prefer the robot to see that than a person, so I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. Future approved.
This is the future, I guess. Next, the airport had these cleaner robots, which were super neat. They're mopping and vacuuming the massive, huge floor of the Beijing airport. I do not envy the job they have, toiling endlessly, only to have 2 white people come up and drop their iced coffee all over the floor. But I gotta say, this one is future approved. 8.5 out of 10.
We encountered a drink-making robot outside our hotel in Xi'an, but honestly, it seemed super gimmicky. Don't get me wrong, it's super cool to see this thing in action and the locals seemed into it too, but I don't really see these robot servers taking off besides the gimmick right now. I think people like the personal touch. Maybe McDonald's or some other soulless corporation will start using them, who knows, but I can't say it's future approved. 3 out of 10.
And this thing, whatever it was. At the airport, there was this really creepy looking hologram that we found. I'm not sure what the purpose is, but again, this has to be a gimmick. It felt like that scene in Blade Runner that was like really strangely post-apocalyptic, kind of uncomfortable, but so much worse. 0 out of 10, not future approved.
And next was the robot legs, which didn't exactly work out. See, the idea of a robot exoskeleton does seem like the future, and a kind of crazy way to make hiking up 999 stairs a bit more accessible. Oh yeah, did we mention that we took the high-speed rail to Zhangjiajie, a bullet train through the mountains to get to the Avatar Mountains of China? Probably one of the most slept-on ways that China's living in the future, coming from our humble American highway experience. However, we ended up on the wrong stairs. The stairs without robot legs, which maybe was a sign from the heavens that we needed to get our leg day in without an AI assist. So we ended up climbing the mountain as nature intended, robot-free.
998, 999. You think they could have rounded it off, made it 1,000? I don't know. But we found out we actually didn't have to do that because the mountain had a series of like 20 escalators taking you to the top, where, of course, you'll be rewarded with an all-time American classic of culture, a Burger King. Finally, the future. So yeah, pretty high-tech, but no robots here. 0 out of 10. So all in all, China is definitely trying new things with robots, but even more futuristic things with AI, for better and worse.
AI is everywhere in China, and we're conflicted, okay? Because is this the reality we want or not? On one hand, my every move is monitored by CCTV, and my every step is cataloged in some data center somewhere. On the other hand, this shit is kind of mad convenient.
To be honest, it's kind of hard to know where to land on our opinion on this, but we do know that pretty much every country is cataloging you and looking at you and scanning your face and stuff like that. So it's at least nice to get some convenience out of it.
Benefits like the airport having all my flight info at a kiosk so I can find my gate and flight time immediately.
Crazy.
And also not needing a ticket at the train station because it's all connected to my passport.
Like, think about how many hours you've wasted trying to verify your identity with a customer service rep, or trying to get your physical credit card frozen because you stupidly left it in a taxi like an idiot. I'm just saying the verification stuff is nice.
And frankly, it seems that whether you want it or not, it's becoming unavoidable in most countries who are trying to progress to the future. Most people do want convenience. People want their daily life to benefit from technology that's getting invented. Do people want their phones to listen to every conversation they're having? Probably not, but talking about Labubus with Bestie and then getting targeted TikTok shop ads for them sure is convenient, isn't it? AI loves to help you feed the consumerist machine. Oh yeah, and AI Panda. At least the Labubu was real.
But what surprised us on this trip was that one of the coolest ways that technology is being used in China isn't pushing us super far into the future. It's actually looking into our past. While we had come to hang out in Chongqing, which is the super futuristic city, we actually ended up spending a lot of time in Xi'an, which is the oldest city in China. You actually might have heard of it because that's where the Terracotta Army is. And the way they were using technology on the site was actually insane. After we had gone through the museum and seen all these super ancient artifacts, we actually got to watch them while they were restoring the warriors themselves. And not only did we find AI, but we actually found another robot there as well. In order to create a sterile and safe environment for restoring the warriors, they made this big robot house that rolls along with them while they're restoring. Before they had this technology, they literally couldn't unearth these warriors without all of the paint just chipping off immediately. So up until now, all of the warriors have been this kind of dull brown color. But now they can use this robot to uncover the exact colors from 2,000 years ago. And it really struck a chord with us because people first looked at these warriors thousands of years ago. And we're using some of the best, brightest, brand newest technology to bring back that experience from so long ago.
When I first saw the Terracotta Warriors 7 years ago on my exchange, I thought it was cool, but never thought there'd be a reason to go back. But Ben, being an Alpha 39 Clues reader, had to see this world wonder at some point in his life, and I wasn't gonna make him go alone. So coming back, I expected to see the same exhibit, but in reality, they had uncovered so much more than I had previously seen, literally bringing the color back from the past. And speaking of consumerism, that brings us to the thumbnail of this video. Looks pretty futuristic, right? Scaling a building with all these city lights behind you. While it may look cool, we certainly didn't feel very cool or futuristic while we did it. In fact, we waited about 2 hours out in the cold, only for a 3-minute photo shoot where we were rushed through a bunch of copy and paste poses so that everybody could get their cyberpunk profile picture for Instagram. Businesses here are clearly capitalizing on this futuristic aesthetic people are selling to social media. So while China, just like anywhere else, has plenty of technological gimmicks like flashing lights on buildings and touristy photo shoots, we found the real future is in the everyday things that people aren't even thinking about at this point. Conveniences like trains and housing and phone apps. And even more surprisingly, the way they're bringing back the past using technology. If that's not living in the future, then I don't know what is. And what we've learned from our week in China is that so much of the future is a facade. The flashy lights and the robots and the AI all pales in comparison to the real progress, which is kind of boring stuff, but it's what you're using every day that makes things so much more easy and convenient and really is what the future is heading towards.
All of these things kind of come together to make your everyday life a little bit easier.
And I won't pretend that robot legs to help climb a mountain aren't cool. I would very much like to use robot legs, but the reality is that so many people can come up here and enjoy this view because there are tons of escalators. This is literally an engineering marvel that they put 7 escalators on top of a mountain.
That's not even to mention the cable car as well.
The cable car is the world's longest cable car, maybe the world's steepest cable car
The world's scariest cable
the
car.
world's scariest cable car. And maybe these things are a little bit boring, but these improvements to the technologies that we already have to be able to put them in places you'd never expect, that's pretty futuristic and maybe a less flashy, but way more practical way. And there's tons of people who look like they've never climbed and will never climb a mountain in their lives up here. And that's only possible because there's technology taking them up here.
So Megan, do you think that China is really living in the future?
I would say if the future isn't just social media clickbait designed to look good and robotic and chrome or whatever that we think the future looks like, I would say the real future here is the convenience and the everyday things that are made so easy for people just living here. So yeah, the future.
So we hope that through this video, maybe your eyes have been opened just a little bit into the way that other people live, maybe across the planet, and the ways that technology can actually be a good thing. Doesn't have to be a complete pain in the ass all the time. And with that, thank you, especially to our patrons and members on YouTube and Patreon. You guys get bonus content with every video, and we hope that you guys love the video. Thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. See you next time.